Frequency distributions are classified into observed frequency distribution and theoretical or expected frequency distribution. Whereas observed frequency distribution is based on observations or experimentation. So observation, what we observe. So based on that, we come to conclusion and prepare a frequency distribution, or else we may experiment certain things. For example, tossing a coin. So if 10 times we toss a coin, what all result we get? So that we go on noting how many times we got head, how many times we got tail. That is, experiment is done, observed, analyzed, and the frequency distribution is formed. So that is observed frequency distribution. Whereas theoretical frequency distribution, here it is based on probability, based on certain previous experience or maybe certain assumptions. So if you toss a coin, so head will come this time, tail will come these many times. So based on previous experience, so last time we did tossed coin for 10 times and we got 4 times head, 6 times tail. So that will continue even today if you repeat the same. So like that here, based on previous experience or certain assumption, we prepare a distribution with help of probability. So here this theoretical distribution, we can also call it as a probability distribution, where probability, so this today we study about theoretical distribution. So here theoretical distribution, if it is based on discrete random variables, then it is called as a discrete probability distribution. And if it is based on continuous random variables, then it is called as a continuous probability distribution. So in the last year, in the random variable chapter, already we discussed a little about the random variables, and here the same will continue with certain new things and new formulas and a new distribution given by different persons. So in this chapter, theoretical distribution, today we study different persons distribution given by them. So first one, Bernoulli distribution given by James Bernoulli, and next again given by him itself, that is the binomial distribution. Then third one, Poisson distribution. Fourth one, hypergeometric distribution. And fifth one, normal distribution. Then sixth one, standard normal distribution. Then seventh one, chi-square distribution. And the last one, students T distribution. So these all will study in this chapter. And now let them discuss one by one. First one, Bernoulli distribution. Bernoulli distribution is given by Swiss mathematician James Bernoulli. So the distribution is also named by his name itself, Bernoulli distribution. Here he assumes a random variable in such a way, that is, if x is a discrete random variable with probability mass function PMF, probability mass function PMF is P of x is equal to P raised to x and Q raised to 1 minus x, where x takes 0 and 1. X takes 0 and 1, and where P is greater than 0 and less than 1, that is P lies in between 0 and 1, and where Q is equal to 1 minus P. If any random variable taking probability mass function P of x raised to P of x is equal to P raised to x into Q raised to 1 minus x, and if it satisfies these three conditions, then that is a Bernoulli distribution. That experiment, that variable is called a Bernoulli variate, and that distribution is called Bernoulli distribution. And Bernoulli distribution will be like this. Here P of x 0, 1 and total. So here Bernoulli distribution's range is 0 to 1 itself. It assumes only two variables, 0, 1. 0 means failure and 1 indicates success. Probability of success is 1 and is denoted by the constant P. And P is considered as a parameter. Parameter of Bernoulli distribution is P, and it is a constant value, it doesn't change. And next, x takes 0 and 1, so P is a probability of success, that is 1 P, and 0 takes Q, that is probability of failure, that is 1 minus P, and total of these two P and Q is 1, as we discussed in the random variable chapter that summation of probability of x values is 1, that is summation P of x is 1. So only two possibilities, success, failure. So here examples, what examples will come here? So when we toss one coin once only, the result will be either head or tail. And if I am considering here head, so getting a head is a success. If I don't get head, then it is a failure. So getting head, chances of getting head in the toss is 0.5 or 1 by 2. So P, when we toss a coin, we get 1 by 2 P or 0.5. And getting a tail, that is a failure. Not getting head, that is Q is equal to 1 minus 1 by 2 is equal to 1 by 2 again. So, and next, when we throw a die, I want 3. If I get 3, that is probability of success. If I don't get 3, that is failure. So probability of success in throwing a die is 1 by 6. Total 6 outcomes we get there. And out of 6, I want only 3. So probability of success is 1 by 6 and probability of failure is 5 by 6. And if when we continue them, when we repeat them, so it goes to binomial distribution. So before going to binomial distribution again, come to Bernoulli distribution. Here probability mass function PMF is P of x Q raised to 1 minus x. Range is x 0 and 1, where P lies in between 0 and 1 and Q is 1 minus P. And parameter of Bernoulli distribution is a constant P. These are the features of Bernoulli distribution. Next comes mean and variance. So mean of Bernoulli distribution. Mean of Bernoulli distribution is P itself, and variance of Bernoulli distribution is P into Q. And the standard deviation ST is equal to root of PQ. So P mean, P into Q variance, root of P into Q is standard deviation. So if you refer this formulas, we can say it with the proof that here mean is greater than variance. So this may become for 1 mark question. What is the relationship between mean and variance in Bernoulli distribution? That is, mean is greater than variance. Okay, and here Bernoulli distribution, what kind of question may come? So here very simple questions will come for 2 marks. From Bernoulli distribution, we don't get any question for 5 marks here. So question may be, in a toss of a coin, the probability of P is 0.5. Fit a distribution. Or maybe they will give P value and they will ask you to find mean and variance, and maybe they ask you to prepare a probability distribution. So I will take one example where P is equal to 0.7. Find mean, variance and prepare probability distribution. So first mean is P itself. So P is 0.7. So mean of a Bernoulli distribution is 0.7, and variance is equal to P into Q, where Q is equal to 1 minus P, that is 1 minus 0.7 is equal to 0.3. So here PQ, variance is equal to 0.7 into 0.3 is equal to 0.7 into 0.3 is 0.21. And standard deviation, if they ask, that is root of PQ is equal to 0.21 is equal to, so root 0.21 is 0.4583. So that is the standard deviation. And one more question they asked here, that is prepare a probability distribution for a Bernoulli distribution. So Bernoulli distribution, probability distribution, x in P of x. So x takes 0, that is the probability of failure, and success 1, and total. So 0, failure, probability of failure, that is Q is 0.3, and probability of success P is 0.7, and total is 0.3 plus 0.7 is 1. Where x takes 0 and 1, P is greater than 0 and less than 1, and Q is equal to 1 minus P. So this is the probability distribution, mean, variance. And from this part only either 1 marks or 2 marks question will come. So probability mass function, range, mean and variance, or relationship between mean and variance, or probability distribution. So such questions may come from this concept. Now we'll discuss binomial distribution. If x is a random variable which takes probability mass function PMF, that is P of x is equal to NCX into P raised to x into Q raised to n minus x, and where x range is 0, 1 till n. So if any x random variable takes a probability mass function, that is NCX into P raised to x into Q raised to n minus x, then range x takes value 0, 1 till n. That again, if P is less than 0, P is greater than 0 and less than 1, that is P lies in between 0 and 1, and where Q is equal to 1 minus P, then that variable is a discrete, binomial variate, and that distribution is binomial distribution. And then here probability distribution is takes x P of x. So first probability term always here the first probability term in binomial distribution is 0, where 0 takes nc0 into p raised to 0 into q raised to n minus 0. That is, nc0 is 1, p raised to 0 is 1. So, first probability term takes q raised to n. Then second probability term, 1. It takes nc1 into p raised to 1 into q raised to n minus 1. Then, so it continues until nth value comes. So if a random variable is n here, then it takes ncn into p raised to n into q raised to n minus n. So this is the probability distribution for binomial distribution. And the features of binomial distribution are the P. It has two parameters. First one is n, that is number of outcomes, or how many times that a trial or experiment is done, and constant p value. For any number of n value, the p is remain same constant. It doesn't change here. So p, and where q is 1 minus p, again that is p lies in between 0 and 1. And then the mean and variance. Mean of binomial distribution is p into n, that is np, and variance of binomial distribution is np and q, n into p into q, and standard deviation is root of npq. So here also we can say that the mean is greater than variance in binomial distribution. So mean, the question may come, what is the relationship between mean and variance in binomial distribution? Then that is mean is greater than variance in binomial distribution. Then next, if p is equal to q, that is p is equal to q, that is a half, then the binomial distribution is symmetric, not skewed. So it is symmetric, where beta 1 is 0. And if p is greater than half, that is p is greater than q, then binomial distribution is positively skewed, where beta 1 is greater than 0. And if p is less than half, that is less than q, if q is more than half, then binomial distribution is negatively skewed, where beta 1 is less than 0. So here these three things remember. And next, mode. So mode is that value if mean, that is n into p, is an integer number, then mean is equal to mode in binomial distribution. So we can say when mean is equal to mode, that is binomial distribution is symmetric. And when mean is not an integer, then value of mode is the highest probability in the given value, corresponding x value. So if any probability is greater compared to other probability term, then corresponding x value is the mode when np is not an integer. And next, when p is almost equal to 0. So p is almost 0. So 0 will not come, maybe 0.01, 0.02, 0.005. So like that, where p is almost equal to 0 and n takes infinity, then binomial distribution tends to Poisson distribution. So, and that is Poisson distribution. Then p is almost equal to q, that is maybe half, 0.5, 0.5, or maybe 0.49, 0.51. So where almost P is almost equal to Q and N takes infinity, then binomial distribution tends to normal distribution. Normal distribution. So these are some features of binomial distribution where PMF is P raised to x is NCX into P raised to x into Q raised to N minus x, and where x range is x is 0 to N and P lies in between 0 and 1 and Q is equal to 1 minus x, and it has two parameters. One is N and second one is P, a constant value, and P is if P is half, then distribution is symmetric. If P is greater than half, P is positively skewed. P is less than half, then distribution is negatively skewed. And if P is almost 0 and N is infinity, then it takes Poisson distribution. It tends to Poisson distribution. And P is almost equal to 0 and N is infinity, then binomial distribution tends to normal distribution. And mean, if an integer, that is NP is an integer, then mode is equal to mean. If NP is not an integer, then mode is a value of x corresponding to the highest probability term. Then examples for binomial distributions are when the coin is tossed for 10 times. Number of male children in a family of 2 children. Number of bombs hit the target out of 5 bombs. So such example where events repeats or continuous for several number of times, and here there is a limit, that is n. Okay, this is Poisson distribution. Next comes recurrence relations. Recurrence relation between successive probability in binomial distribution is given by P of x is equal to n minus x plus 1 divided by x into P divided by Q into P of x minus 1. So which gives successive, that is the next probability term. So P of 0 we know, then P of 1 can be identified by this recurrence relation formula. At the same time, here next we can also find out the successive frequency, theoretical frequencies, that is T of x, that is the recurrence relation between the successive theoretical frequencies given by T of x is equal to n minus x plus 1 divided by x into P divided by Q into T of x minus 1. That is, suppose if we know T of 0, that is the frequency of first probability term 2, then T of 1 can be identified with the help of this formula, n minus x plus 1 divided by x into P divided by x into T of x minus 1, that is previous frequency. And next we'll solve certain problems on binomial distribution. What kind of problems may come here and how to solve them. So first one, I will read a question. An unbiased coin is tossed 5 times. Unbiased coin means here result comes randomly. So one cannot, what expects that result will not come here. It is a fair coin. So P is half, I can say. P is equal to half. Then Q is also half. So it is tossed. The coin is tossed for 5 times. Then N is 5. So parameters we got, parameter P constant value is half here and N is 5. That 5 times that coin is tossed. And find the probability that the tosses result in heads only. So toss results in all heads. So that means if coin is tossed for 5 times, all 5 times we get head. Then second question, 3 heads and 2 tails. So here 3 heads and 2 tails means when we toss a coin for 5 times, and if we get 3 times head means remaining 2 times we get tail only. Then third question, 4 or more heads. 4 or more heads. Now let us solve this question. So here x, first we need to define the value of x here. So x is a random variable. When x takes number of heads, x number of heads in a toss of coin for 5 times, then x tends to binomial distribution with parameter p is equal to 1 divided by 2 and n is equal to 5. Then the probability mass function PMF is P of x is equal to NCX into P raised to x into Q raised to n minus x. And P of x here, if you fill the parameters, n is 5 cx into 1 by 2 raised to x into 1 by 2 raised to n minus x, 5 minus x. And here when p is equal to q, that is half here, if you multiply these two, so half is common, so x here positive, 5 minus x plus x, so x and x get cancels, and p of x here in this problem where p is half, we can shortcut it by reducing p 5cx into 1 by 2 raised to 5, 1 by 2 raised to n. So first question, all heads. So all heads. So all head means p of x is equal to 5 is equal to p of 5. So p of 5 is equal to 5c5 into 1 divided by 2 raised to 5. So 5c5. 5c5 is 1 into 1 divided by 2 raised to 5. So 1 raised to 5 is 1 itself, 2 raised to 5. So 2 raised to 5 takes 32. Okay, 2 raised to 5, that is 1 divided by 32. So P of 5, that is probability of getting all 5 heads is 1 divided by 32. So first probability term, that is here last probability term, P of all heads is 1 divided by 32. Next, second question, that is 3 heads. 3 heads and 2 tails. So here 2 tails means automatically it will come, not necessary to calculate it again. So here P of x takes 3 heads, that is P of 3. So P of 3 is equal to 5c3 into 1 divided by 2 raised to 5. So 5c3. So 5c3 value is 5c3 value is 10, where 1 divided by 2 raised to 5 is 1 divided by 32. So P of 3, probability of getting 3 heads and 2 tails is 10 divided by 32. Okay, so 5c3 is 10 1 divided by 2 raised to 5 is 1 divided by 32. So finally the answer probability of getting 3 heads and 2 tails is 10 divided by 32. And last question, very important question here. So that is 4 or more heads. 4 or more heads. So that is P of x is greater than or equal to 4. So greater than or equal to 4 means greater than 4. How many terms are there? Till n. So n is 5. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 6 outcomes we get. So the question is 4 or more. So 4 or more means we have 4 and 5 here. So P of x is greater than 4 is equal to P of 4 plus P of 5. So P of x is greater than or equal to 4 is equal to P of 4, that is 5C4 into 1 divided by 2 raised to 5 plus 5C5 into 1 divided by 2 raised to 5. Okay, so 5C4 is 5 into 1 divided by 2 is 1 divided by 32 plus 5C5 is 1 into 1 divided by 32. So 5 into 1, 5 by 32 plus 1 by 32. So probability of getting 4 or more heads is equal to 6 divided by 32. So probability of getting 4 or more head, that is P of 4 plus P of 5. So that is 6 divided by 32. Suppose the question if they would have asked is 2 or more heads or at least 2 heads, then they need 2 or more heads. So that is 2 or more heads, 2, 3, 4, 5. So probability of 2, P of 2 plus P of 3 plus P of 4 plus P of 5. So instead of calculating 4 items here, we know that probability of all values, P of summation P of x is 1. Then if we deduct that probability of all 6 is 1, then if you need only total of these 4, then if we deduct 1 minus P of 0 plus P of 1, we would have got probability of next 4 items. So 1 minus P of 0 plus P of 1. These two probability terms, if we deduct from 1, we get probability of 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5 here. So question is 4 or more heads, only 2 calculations we get here. So I have calculated it directly here. Next question on binomial distribution we'll discuss now. I read the question. There are 100 wristwatches in a box. So that is 100 wristwatches. It is we'll come to it again. 5 of them are defective. So out of 100 watches, 5 are defective. What is the probability of getting less than 2 wristwatches in a selection of 6 watches? So here the question is, we are selecting 6 watches from the box of 100 watches. So a box contains 100 wristwatches. From 100, 5 are defective watches in the same box, and we are now selecting 6 wristwatches. What is the probability that we get less than 2 defective watches? That is less than 2 defective wristwatches we get. So here 100, the box contained 100 wristwatches is a capital N. Total population is 100. from 100 we are picking or selecting 6 watches, that is sample number, that is small n is a 6. And out of 100 watches, 5 are defective, means we are studying here defective watches. So probability of success P is defective watches, that is 5 out of 100 wristwatches. So P is 5 divided by 100. So P is 5 divided by 100. So we can also write 0.05. Then the question is less than 2 defective watches. That is the first question. Second question is if there are 50 such boxes. So again they are telling here in one box 100 watches are there. If there are such 50 boxes, that is 100 watches one box into 50 boxes. So that is 5000 wristwatches. So 50 such boxes, in how many of them will you find 2 defective wristwatches? So if such 100 wristwatches boxes are 50 are there, then in how many wristwatch boxes you will get 2 defective watches? So that let us solve it step by step. So first X takes here X number of defective wristwatches in selection of. So here we are selecting only 6 watches from the box. So number of defective watches in a selection of 6 watches. Then X tends to binomial distribution with parameter P is equal to 5 divided by 100 and N is equal to 6. Parameter N is 6 and P is 5 divided by 100. Then first question, PMF is equal to P of X is equal to NCX into P raised to X into Q raised to N minus X, where X is 0, 1 till 6. N takes till 6 here. Then P of X is equal to NCX, 6CX into P is 5 divided by 100 raised to X into Q is 1 minus P, that is 95 divided by 100 raised to 6 minus X. 95 divided by 100 raised to X. So that we can write in decimal points to make the calculation easy. So that we'll write directly in the calculation of problem. So first question is less than 2 defective wristwatches. So P of less than 2 defective wristwatches. So P of X is less than or equal to 2 is equal to. So less than 2 wristwatches. So out of 6, so probability terms take 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Less than 2. So less than 2 are 0 and 1 only. If the question would have been like less than or equal to 2, then the probability term 2 also included in that. So here the question is less than 2 wristwatches, less than 2 are 0 and 1 only. So probability of getting less than 2 wristwatches is P of 0 plus P of 1. Now let us calculate it. P of 0. So 6C0 into 0.05 raised to 0 into 0.95 raised to 6 minus 0. That is 6 itself. Plus P of 1, 6C1 into 0.05 raised to 1 into 0.95 raised to 6 minus 1. So now it is 6C0 is 1 into 0.05 raised to 0 is 1 into 0.95 raised to 6 minus 0, that is 6 itself. So that terms comes 0.95 raised to 6 is 0.7351. 0.7351 plus 6C1 is 6 into 0.05 raised to 1 is 0.05 itself into 0.95 raised to 6 minus 1, that is 0.95 raised to 5. So 0.95 raised to 5 is 0.2321. Sorry, let me calculate it. 0.95 raised to 5. 0.7738. So that is 0.7351 plus 0.2321. So final answer P of getting x less than or equal to 2 is equal to 0.2321 plus 0.7351 is equal to 0.9672. So probability of getting less than 2 defective watches is 0.9672. So now the question, second question what they are asked is, in how many boxes we get 2 defective watches? So here it is less than 2 defective watches. Now exactly 2 defective watches we have to find, then multiply it with 50 boxes. Then we get in how many boxes we get defective watches. Now let us calculate P of 2. Second question, exactly P of 2. Two defective watches. So that is P of x is equal to 2 is equal to P of 2. So P of 2 is equal to 6C2 into 0.05 raised to 2 into 0.95 raised to 6 minus 2. So 6C2. 6C2 is 15 into 0.05 raised to 2. 0.05 raised to 2. 0.025, then 0.095 raised to 6 minus 2 is 0.95 raised to 4. 0.95 raised to 4 is 0.8145. So the final answer 15 into 0.025 into 0.8145 is equal to 0.3054. So probability of 2 is equal to 0.3054. Now it is just one box. So probability of getting 2 defective watches in one single box is 0.3054. So now in how many boxes out of 50 boxes we get? So to find that, multiply the answer here, number of boxes out of 50 boxes. So from 50 boxes, in how many we get? 2 defective boxes, that is 50 into P of 2 is equal to 50 into 0.3054, that is That is, out of 50 boxes, we get 50 into 0.3054 is equal to 15.27, approximately is equal to 15 boxes. So out of 50 boxes, in 15 boxes we get 2 defective wrist watches. So this is the question here. So in 50 boxes we get, out of 50 boxes, 15 boxes we get 2 defective wrist watches. Next question on binomial distribution. In a group, there are 200 trees. So group contains 200 trees, out of which 50 are mango trees. So out of 200 trees, 50 are mango tree. So group contains 200 trees and 50 are mango trees. Then among them, if 20 samples of 3 trees each selected. So here 20 samples and each sample contains 3 trees. 20 samples total we are selecting randomly and each sample contains 3 trees. That means here n is 3, small n is 3. The range is 3 and 20 is capital N. Total 20 samples we are selecting. Then what is 200? So 200 total number of trees in a group, out of which 50 are mango tree. So it depends on the question what it has to be considered as. That the question is, in how many samples you will expect exactly one mango tree. So that means here they are asking mango trees. So how many mango trees you are expecting? So that means out of 250 are mango trees. Means out of 3, how many mango trees you are expecting? That means here probability of getting mango tree, that is P, is equal to 50 divided by 200. So probability of getting mango tree is 50 divided by 200. So first question here is exactly one mango tree. First question is one mango tree. Second question is more than one mango tree. Second question, more than one mango tree. So let's them solve one by one. So first here x number of mango trees in a sample of 3. So in a sample of 3, how many mango trees we get? That is the random variable here, x, and x tends to binomial distribution with the parameter n is 3, comma p is 50 divided by 200. So 5 divided by 20 or 50 divided by 200, or you can reduce it 50 divided by 200, then you can write here. Next, PMF, probability mass function, P of x is equal to P raised to x, NCx into P raised to x into Q raised to n minus x, where x is equal to 0, 1, 2 and 3. Only 4 variable. Then P of x with parameter r, n is 3cx into P is 5 divided by 20 raised to x into Q. 1 minus P is 15 divided by 20 raised to 3 minus x. Now first question, exactly one mango tree. So exactly one mango tree. So P of x is equal to 1. Direct question here. So P of x is equal to P of 1. So P of 1 is equal to 3C1 into 5 divided by 20. So I will reduce it. 5 divided by 20. 5 divided by 20 is equal to 0.25. So I will make it 0.25 raised to 1 into 0.75 raised to 3 minus 1 is 2. Now 3C1 is 3 itself into 0.25 raised to 1 is 0.25 into 0.75 raised to 3 minus 1, that is 0.75 raised to 2. 0.75 raised to 2 is 0.5625. So 562 into 0.25 into 3 is equal to 0.421875. So here P of 1 is equal to 421819. 4219. Now the question, what question they have asked exactly? That is, in how many samples you will expect exactly one mango tree? So in how many samples? Out of 20 samples. So out of 3 trees, we get 0.42. Exactly one mango tree, the probability is 0.4219. So that in 20 samples, in how many samples we can expect that exactly one mango tree we get? So that is n into P of 1. That is n is 20 into P of 1 is 0.4219. So 20 into 0.4219 is equal to 8.43. Approximately in 8 samples we get exactly one mango tree. Out of 20 samples, in 8 samples we get one mango tree. Next, second question what they have asked is more than one mango tree. So more than one. Second question, more than one. So more than one means 1, leave the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 till the n, and n here is 3. So it takes a random variable 0, 1, 2, 3. More than 1. They are not asked more than or equal to 1. They are asked here more than 1. So more than 1 are 2 and 3 here. So P of x is greater than 1 is equal to P of 2 plus P of 3. Or else in another way we can calculate it, that is 1 minus P of 0 plus P of 1. So calculate P of 0 and P of 1, add it and the total deduct it from 1. You will get the same answer as P of 2 plus P of 3. So instead of going to this method, we will calculate directly here P of 2 plus P of 3. As both the said, equal calculations are there. So P of 2. So P of x greater than 1 is equal to P of 2 is 3C2 into 0.25 raised to 2 into 0.75 raised to 3 minus 2 plus 3C3 into 0.25 raised to 3 into 0.75 raised to 3 minus 3. Now 3C2. So 3C2 we get 3 into 0.25 square is 0.0625 into 0.75 raised to 3 minus 2, that is 0.75 raised to 1 is 0.75 itself, plus 3C3 is 1, 0.25 raised to 3 is 0.1563 into 0.75 raised to 3 minus 3 is 0. So 0.75 raised to 0 is 1. Now 3 into 0.0625 into 0.75 is equal to 0.1406 plus 1 into 0.1563 into 1 is 0.1563. So 0.1563 plus 0.1406 is 0.2969. 0.2969. Now, this is the answer for probability of getting more than one mango tree in one sample. Now the question is, from the total 20 samples, in how many samples we get exactly more than one mango tree? So now multiply number of samples in which we get more than one mango tree is n into p of x greater than 1 is equal to n is 20 into 0.2969 is equal to, so 0.2969 into 20 is equal to 5.938, approximately 6. So out of 20 samples, in 6 samples we get more than one mango tree. So this is all about this question. So out of 200 trees, 50 trees are mangoes. That is used to find value of P. Then sample of 3 we have taken, and total 20 samples we have taken here. And the question. So here, if you understand the logic, which item to be taken for finding P value and which value is n, small n, and which value is capital N, then it is easy to calculate binomial distribution. So we'll see more problem on it. Next, the questions for 2 marks. So first question, for binomial distribution, if n is 5 and p is 0.4, find mean, mode and variance. So here n is equal to 5, p is equal to 0.4, then q is equal to 1 minus p is equal to 0.6. Then they asked mean. Mean is equal to n into p. So n into p is 5 into 0.4 is equal to 2. Okay, and mode. The formula for mode is when mean is an integer, np is an integer, then mean itself is a mode. So since mean is an integer number, so mean is equal to mode is equal to 2. Then second question they asked is variance. So variance is equal to npq, that is n is 5 into 0.4 into 0.6. So 5 into 0.4 is 2, 0.2 into 0.6, 1.2. So simple question, such question will come for 2 marks. Now let us see next question. Here in a binomial distribution, n is 8. N is 8 and mean is 2. So mean also they have given, that is n into p is 2. And asked to find p and standard deviation. P value and standard deviation we have to find here. Then here we know that mean is np. So np is 2 is equal to mean formula np, and n is 8. So 2 is equal to 8 into P. So P is equal to 2 divided by 8 is equal to 2 divided by 8. 0.25. So P is 0.25. Then next they asked standard deviation. So SD is equal to root of N into P into Q. So here P we know, P is 0.25. Q is equal to 1 minus P is equal to 0.75. So SD is equal to root of N is 8 into P is 0.25 into Q is 0.75. So 0.25 into 0.75 into 8, 1 point root 1.5. So standard deviation is equal to 1.2247. So standard deviation for given data is 1.2247. And the next question, in a binomial distribution, mean is 4. In a binomial distribution, mean is equal to 4 and standard deviation is equal to root 2. So if you find the root 2, then we get standard deviation here. That means 2 is a variance. Find the parameters. Find the parameters. So parameters. So what are the parameters here? Parameters are, one is N and second one is P. So here both they have not given. N also they have not given and P also they have not given. So here with help of these two equations we have to find both N and P. So first write the formula. Mean is equal to NP is equal to 4. First equation. And next SD is root 2 they have given. So variance formula is equal to NPQ is equal to 2. Okay. So here NPQ divided by NP. If we did, we get, that is equation 2 divided by equation 1. That is NPQ divided by NP. We get Q. By NP we get Q value. So therefore Q is equal to NPQ is 2 and divided by NP is 4. So therefore Q is equal to 1 divided by 2. And we know that Q is equal to 1 minus P. Then P is equal to 1 minus Q. Therefore P is equal to 1 minus 1 divided by 2 is equal to 1 divided by 2. Now we got the value of P and Q both. Now fill that value of P in any of these two, you will get N value. So here NP is 4. So 4 is equal to N into 1 divided by 2. So therefore N is equal to, so take this 1 by 2 opposite side, that will become 2 into 4. So therefore N is equal to 8. So N is equal to 8. Or else if you take it as a 0.5, so 4 is equal to N into 0.5. So N is equal to 0.5. If you take this side, it will become divided by, so 4 divided by 0.5 is equal to 8. So N is 8 and P is 0.5 or 1 divided by 2 and Q is 1 divided by 2. So such questions will come for 2 marks in annual exams.